I have a question for you then. If you're thinking, like I said, I love his answer, but I'm thinking like, say I have a son, right? And I'm trying to teach him what it means to be a man in society. But then, like you said, you don't want to label it or don't want to put any of these pressure on the kid. Like, how do you then teach them those values or teach them what it means to be a man if there is like no labels against it?
100%. And what he said to that, because in the same podcast they said the same thing, and there's a difference between putting a definition on a man and teaching a man how they should act or how they should be, how should they present themselves into the world, right? You know, when you're saying like, oh, they should be a leader, they should be, you know, compassionate, they should be a provider, they should be strong. Those are characteristics you want your son to have, right? Yeah. But those don't define what a man is. 100%. You know, and so you can give you can teach your child to have those things without making them feel like that is what a definition of a man is, right? Because you can instill those same characteristics into your daughter, right? And it doesn't take away from who she is, right? Because you want your daughter to be strong, independent. You want her to be a leader. You want her to be compassionate. Same, like it's vice versa. Because like when you like, because I think there are certain traits where, as men, like we need to be more comprehensive in terms of like being emotionally, physically, and mentally well-rounded in what we do and what we provide to the world. And when we put those definitions on what a man is supposed to be or what their role in society is, we limit them to those specific roles. You know, because like truly there are some men that are not like physically strong. Yeah. You know, and when you tell that man like, oh, like you have no value because you're not strong, because you can't physically protect, you know, your siblings, your sister, your mom, your dad, you know, you devalue who they are just because of that one thing. Yeah. Right. But they might be mentally strong to the point where they're the ones that like they're able to withstand a lot more like pressure, a lot more emotional stress, like all these different things. It might not be physical, but they can still shoulder a lot of things. And so that's where, to me, it's like there's a difference between, like, for me, like the way I would want to raise my son would be no different than the way I would raise my daughter. I'd want them to have the same traits, you know, because like there's no trait that I would want my daughter to have that I wouldn't want my son to have. Because I would want my son to be compassionate. I would want him to be emotionally in tune with himself. Same thing with my daughter. I would want her to be compassionate, emotionally in tune with herself. Same thing with being strong, mentally, physically. Like, I wouldn't, like, to me, there's no difference between those traits that you would instill in either one, right?